sometimes I just genuinely feel like I am not meant to be doing this. And that is called imposter syndrome. So it doesn't mean that I want to do this any less. It just means that I struggle with the idea of feeling worthy enough to do this. For me, I feel like with the music industry specifically, I tend to be like super intimidated by other musicians. So I'll be like, okay, I can't go to this music networking event because everyone there is going to be so much cooler than me, and everyone there is going to be like so much more talented than me. And I just start getting these like thoughts, like, I mean, almost to the level of like having an anxiety attack where I'm like, I am not worthy to go, especially in LA. Like, everyone in LA is like so cool. And so I just allow myself to get super intimidated by that. And that's not healthy. But for me, the way that I have kind of gotten over my imposter syndrome, or at least learned to deal with it, is really kind of seeing it through the lens of my faith. So if you don't know, I'm a Christian. And I believe in a God who is sovereign, who does not make mistakes. And I believe that my life is not a mistake. I'm not an accident. And so the talents and the gifts and the skills that I was given at birth are intrinsically mine, right? Like God just, it's not like in the Powderpuff Girls or whatever, when they're like, okay, you're dumping in the ingredients and this is what makes a Powerpuff Girl. Like, no, God is not just like randomly dumping stuff into people. He's being very intentional with it. And so my passion and my love and my talents for songwriting and music are not accidental. And so because they're not accidental, logic would follow, right, that there is a purpose for them. I don't think that means that my purpose is necessarily being like a famous musician or a Grammy award-winning singer, songwriter, or like anything like that. But I do think that there is a level of assuredness that I can have when I believe that my gifts are going to be used in some capacity. I don't know what that is. And that is a little intimidating sometimes for me. But I also think in the seasons where I have been fully just like believing the lie of the imposter syndrome, I have felt significantly less fulfilled and more convicted. Funny how those two things go together. But I think like there is, I think, a beauty in just taking the next step forward for your craft. For me, like that's my instance. And I am really enjoying fighting the imposter syndrome on YouTube. It's like writing the songs, posting the videos, getting the views. I'm not getting that many views right now. And that's okay, because I have to remind myself, like, okay, yeah, people are getting millions of views on YouTube, and that's like epic for them. But the reality is, even if only 10 people watch my video, that's 10 people. Jesus only had 12. Who am I to think I'm better than to have more followers than Jesus? Like, so I think like remembering that each view on YouTube is a person, right? It's like you watching this right now, you're a person with a life. And if I can impact your day in some way, that's huge. And that's just one person. And so I'm trying to kind of rewire my thinking of like what success looks like and what faithfulness looks like. So I'm not guaranteed, a Grammy or a publishing deal or a record deal or virality, but I am guaranteed, and I do believe that God promises that He will use my life for His glory, and I am convinced that involves music in some capacity. And so right now, like posting these Christian parody videos on YouTube and other covers and kind of country parodies and things like that, like it has just been so fun for me to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to be fully myself. Like these are the things that I do in my spare time. Like these are the songs that I think are just like fun to write. And I'm just excited to see where he takes that, you know, like what ends up happening with this. And anyway, I'm rambling at this point, but I think like imposter syndrome is a lie. That's what we have to remember. And the truth is that your life is not accidental. You are made with a purpose. The gifts and the talents and the skills and the dreams and the passions that you have are meant to be there, and they are yours to use. And so I just want to encourage you to take the next faithful step forward. You know, if that's posting to YouTube, if that's writing a blog post, if that's calling up a friend and sharing, you know, something with them, if that's cooking a meal, if that's cleaning the house, like whatever that is for you, whatever God has given to you, to do it faithfully. And I am convinced that if we are faithful in the small stuff, that God will reward us. I don't think we're guaranteed big stuff, so I want to be mindful about that. Like, you shouldn't be faithful in the small stuff just to get the big stuff. But I think that when we are faithful with the small stuff, it does not go unnoticed. And I think that it does beget further goodness and fulfillment. So there you have it. I don't know if you struggle with imposter syndrome. I for sure do. This is how I've been tackling it. It's just kind of seeing it through like a faith lens. And I just wanted to be honest with you. You know, when I created this YouTube channel, I did not want it to just be me singing. I wanted it to also be me being really honest and vulnerable about my journey as a creator. And so this is what I wanted to talk about today. And I hope that this has encouraged you in some way. I feel like I rambled. But yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm excited to just continue on this journey with you, taking each faithful step forward.